and it is 4 a.m. today, June 17th, 2024, Monday to be precise. And I woke up this morning and with a heavy heart, and for the umpteenth time again, as a patriot and one that greatly appreciates the enormous potentials in this country called Nigeria, our own country, to do this intervention again and set the records as it should be so that we don't keep on modeling up things. I read the article, the publication, the front page publication of New York Times, lamenting on the economic situations in Nigeria, a very resourceful country that is now buckling under huge monumental problems that has to do with price instability and the rest of it. And I also read the response of Bayo Anonuga, the special advisor to the president, and my heart grieved more because one, none of the issues that were raised in the New York Times article was addressed. It was a case of always defending, always seeing everybody pointing out some of these obvious issues as enemies of the state. And I want to address these fundamental issues again. First of all, I want us to understand one fact. Nigeria is where it is today, not because of the policy pronouncements, removal of oil subsidy, and the margin of the foreign exchange market rates when President Tinubu became president. Those policies and pronouncements were spot on in terms of genuine reform or our intention to reform Nigeria. Basically, what happened was that pronouncement was hastily done without, first of all, tackling the fundamental challenges, carrying out the massive institutional reforms that were required before such policy pronouncement would have been made to enable us to reap the positive impacts from the very immediate terms. In Bayo's response, he stated the fact that between 2005 to 2022, Nigeria paid $82 billion subsidy. And of course, Tinubu inherited a massive, practically dead economy with a huge debt overhang. We were spending 97% of our revenues just to service debt that we accumulated under the Buhari era, which we have overflogged so far. And of course, if you look at the intervening period from 2005 to 2022, 17 years, average of $402 million was paid every month as subsidy. But Bayo also forgot that in 2023, under this current regime government, we paid over 3.6 trillion naira as subsidy, which is $7.8 billion, and which is even higher than the average of the years that he cited, and which also clearly showed that the pronouncement wasn't the challenge. The challenge was the lack of rigor in executing the required reforms before that pronouncement was made. And what are the required reforms? I want us to go back. This is going to be a bit lengthy distance, but please bear with me. Let us go back to history. In 1999, when President Olusegun Obasanjo became president of Nigeria, Nigeria had a foreign reserve of $5 billion, of which 3.9 billion was in Kimberley. Nigeria oil output was about 1.6 million barrels a day. Crude oil prices then was $17.34. Go and fact check me. Throughout Obasanjo's first term in office, crude oil prices never went above $28 per barrel. Now, the question we should ask ourselves, why was it easy for Obasanjo to ramp up crude oil output to about 1.82 million barrels a day? And even at the period, crude oil never sold at above $38-40 per barrel. Why was it easy for Obasanjo to pay off our external debt of $32 billion through negotiated debt forgiveness of $12 billion and payment of $18 billion? Why was it easy for Obasanjo to carry out the kind of massive reforms he did, execute economic growth of almost about 6.5% average for 8 years, build up a middle class population of about 4 million people that earn between $120,000 to $170,000 per annum, attracted inflows, diasporans coming back to help and work in Nigeria? Why was it easy for Obasanjo to do all this and still left behind a huge reserve of $47 billion unencumbered? without zero foreign exchange, foreign debt. Why was it easy for Obasanjo to do this? It was very easy for Obasanjo to do it because Obasanjo had, first of all went about recruiting some of the best hands he could see, Nigerians anywhere around the world, irrespective of your tribe, your ethnicity, and your religion. And Obasanjo was a very prudent man who understood not only did he fight corruption, EFCC was most efficient under Obasanjo with Nuhu Ribadu as the M-SMAN, who was so effective as Obasanjo's anchorman at EFCC that a lot of the leakages we have today, a lot of criminality we have today in our oil and gas sector wasn't there. Obasanjo was able to do all these things because, first of all, every barrel of crude oil that was produced in Nigeria was sold and not stolen. Monies were not diverted. All the inflows came in. On the downstream, despite the fact that we wasted so much money to try to repair those refineries, Obasanjo realized clearly that allowing those refineries to remain under public sector control will not allow it to work. That was why before he left office, he sold 60% of those refineries to the Blue Star Consortium led by Aliko Dangote, Femi Otedola, and some of the smart entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Because Obasanjo understood clearly that for you to remove subsidy, those refineries must work and there must be efficiency in the downstream oil and gas sector. Obasanjo ensured that nobody diverted proceeds of the crude oil, and we had price stability. Under Obasanjo became president when naira to dollar was 88 naira. When he left, it was 124 naira. Under Obasanjo, naira to dollar lost only 38 naira, and the difference between the official market rate and private market was just about 1 naira, around that range. But why was it? Why is it? Of course, Jonathan came. It was a bit stable, 78 naira under 60, from 2007 to 2015 when Jonathan left. It was only 78 naira that we lost. Then Buhari came, and that was when this madness started. Even under the Ziani, they were even accused of diverting 300,000 barrels of crude every day. Yet, despite the fact that PMS was saying that 87 naira per liter, we were subsidizing it, we were able to defend the naira. Because most of the crude oil process we are coming in. Even when if you watch under Obasanjo, PMS consumption in Nigeria was never above 25-26 million liters a day. For the 8 years Obasanjo was president, Obasanjo ensured that the only thing that was imported into Nigeria was what was consumed here. There was massive subsidy, yet there was no Ponzi games under Obasanjo. He ensured that he was very ruthless and he fought corruption. Obasanjo will not allow you to steal because you are his friend. Under Obasanjo, the IGP, a Yoruba man like him, Tafa Balogun, was handcuffed by Nuhu Ribadu. Obasanjo let him go, prosecuted him. That was how vicious. Yes, Obasanjo may not be a perfect man. So Obasanjo loved Nigeria and still loves Nigeria, and he did the best for Nigeria. Buhari came in. That was even under the Zen. Let me not digress so much. Even when the numbers moved from 2.28 million barrels to 29 million liters PMS consumption to 45 to 52, National Assembly, Saraki blew the whistle and they investigated it and they discovered that our consumption was not actually around 30 million liters of PMS a day. And till today, people are still refunding money, those marketers that played that game. Then Buhari came in, brought in all manner of criminals, all manner of Ponzi game stars, and that was when the madness started. First of all, our crude oil output started disappearing from a height of 2.8 million barrels a day in 2010 to 2.4 million barrels in 2014. It disappeared. Our crude oil was being sold and monies were not being. Even the emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, have at many fora lamented on this issue of our crude, our NNPC being opaque, the sleaze, the criminality there. Even most recently, he even said that he's not afraid of being dethroned again. That we must look at what is happening there if we want to fix this country. And that is the truth. Under Buhari, the whole thing went bonkers. We were told we are consuming 50 million liters. It went to 60 PMS. In fact, we wasted 16 trillion naira, $34 billion on faith on around maintenance programs, on subsidy on ghost import and ghost consumption. The level of criminality, the level of wickedness, the level of inefficiency in our oil and gas sector, from the NNPC to NNDPRA to the commanding height to is out of, they are so brazen about it. Now, Tinubu, for him, for the policies to have worked, two things he will have done. Will have been to, first of all, carry out massive cleansing. Under Buhari, we were losing close to about $1.9 billion of crude oil resources to different inefficiency monthly. You can Google it. This was what the current GMB of NNPC stated. He said it on Arise TV. It was well published. He admitted that we lose $1.9 billion worth of crude resources every month. That is $22 billion annually to inefficiency and to different. In 2021, they embarked on the refurbishment of the refineries. 1.5 billion. Till today, they told us it will start working in July 2023. And perhaps based on the strength of that pronouncement, Tinubu hurriedly went and removed subsidy without counting the cost, without realizing the implication. Let me tell us, if oil output was at the level it was in 2014, 2.3, 2.4 million barrels a day, if PMS, the criminality in the downstream oil and gas sector being perpetrated at the NNPC had been curtailed, and the PMS efficiency that was under Obasanjo was introduced there, we won't be where we are today. Yemi Cardoso and the CBI are not able to defend the naira because there is no dollar liquidity, there is no inflow. Most of our crude oil outputs has tanked. We are not producing enough. So, what Tinubu will have done before even making it was to make sure carry out, do a massive, all the remnant of the criminal Ponzi era of Tinubu Buhari will have been removed. Do a massive clean out of the NNPC, massive clean out at the NMDPRA, massive clean out at the Bureau Ministry, and then bring in smart, creative-minded Nigerians, and he has them abundance around him. People like Mofo Boyo and the rest of them. These are people he knows to help him reform that place. The next thing he will have done, even before doing this, look at Petrobras, what they did. Nigerians are not more corrupt than Brazilians, but the Brazilians saw clearly their reserve 15.5 billion barrels. Our reserve is 3 times bigger than of Brazil. That's 7 billion barrels a day reserve. What did the Brazilian government first of all had to divest? They divested their shareholding in Petrobras to only 28.5% and allowed institutional investors to come in. Today, Petrobras, that was founded in 1970, is $174 billion sized. Annual revenue $121 billion. Profit last year was $6.7 billion. They do 2.3 million barrels a day in terms of crude oil production. This is where NNPC is supposed to be. If NNPC wasn't OPEC, it had not become a criminal Ponzi enterprise. They bribe everybody, everything there is everything is sleaze and corruption. For Tinubu to have achieved the objective of removing subsidy, imagine the foreign exchange rate, to even allow Cardoso to have enough dollar, the first thing he would have done was to carry out massive reform. Sell down. The only corporation working in Nigeria today is the LNG. Why? It is 51% owned by the federal government of Nigeria to the NNPC, 49% owned by the federal government of Nigeria to the NNPC, and 51% of private. The same thing will have applied. What they do is an investment banker. I don't know what he's advising Mr. President. The first thing they will have done was appoint a Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, a Goldman Sachs, a Chapel Hill, Durham, Islamic IBTC to organize, first of all, day one, to start the process of restructuring, selling down federal government holding in the NNPC down by 60%, and then doing an IPO of $20 billion. That will have brought, netted in over $60 billion. When Tinubu became president and discovered that Nigeria was hemorrhaging, if he had put in place these documented reforms that have been initiated here and gone to the World Bank to say, okay, I am going to carry out this reform that will restructure the institutional framework, the ownership framework of the major foreign nation in Nigeria, NNPC, and the oil and gas industry. And that I'm going to bring in about $50-60 billion. Give me $30-40 billion to enable me carry out reform. They will have gladly given him that money based on those conditions. I wouldn't have been where we are today. If we had sold down this thing and brought in Israeli investors to make it as transparent as Petrobras, as NLNG, by now, won't have been, the refineries will have been working. When the Dangote start his own refinery is working now. So the question is, does President Donald Tinubu has the political will to take these right steps? It is not yet too late. Rather than Bayo and Onuga and the rest of them being caustic, not addressing the issues that the New York Times raised, Nigeria is a resourceful country on the throes of collapse because we have refused to do the right things. And it's not yet too late to do the right things. And what are those right things? Do a massive clearance. I don't know the spell that they have on Mr. President that will allow this thing to continue the way it is. He's an oil and gas person. We will not stop talking. We know that we are taking huge risk by saying this truth. And we'll keep on saying this truth. Mr. President, it is not yet too late. Rather than attacking New York Times for what is the truth, we know it is the truth. Carry out is not yet to reverse course. Your policies and your programs are spot on, but you have not yet carried out the fundamental reforms that will make us realize the positive intentions and desires. Going to World Bank to go and borrow $2.25 billion without tackling the fundamental issues will not help us. And what are the fundamental issues? Our major foreign exchange for now is the crude oil. Clear out. It's not ready. Tomorrow, by Wednesday, make the pronouncement. Clear out everybody there and appoint those that can help you and start the whole process of restructuring the operations, the ownership, and the efficiency in our oil and gas. The next thing is security of Nigerians. Why we have food insecurity today is because of insecurity. Farmers are no longer going to work to their farms. Our food production is down by about 60%. Don't let anybody deceive you. But I read this article talking about, there are no bodies going to farm. I'll give you an example. I have an aged mother that used to do 6 hectares of land every year. For the past 2 years, my mom has not been doing any hectare of. My mom has even been extracted from the village because of the insecurity in my community, Hubokiwe. That 6 hectares of land that my mother used to cultivate with the help of laborers are no longer available. And there is something everywhere in Nigeria. People are just buying because of insecurity. Mr. President, to fix the insecurity, we need to restructure the current security architecture of Nigeria. You heard what the governor of Zamfara State said. Governor of Zamfara State that in 2 weeks, with the right political will and support, they will clear out all the bandits. And the same thing across Nigeria, with the right political will. If we today restructure the security architecture of Nigeria, back to what we have been sharing to you guys, back to what we had in the early 60s. Allow the communities to control their security, empower them, equip them. Every community knows the good, the bad, and the ugly. In Zamfara State, they have 14 local government areas. If you empower the governor and allow him to equip his own internal security with the supervision of the NSA, give them enough training and the equal arm as the bandits, they will flush out the bandits in 2 weeks. The governor said, and it's true, and we know this reality. Mr. President, it's on your table. I don't know. Bible says in Proverbs 25:5, when a king, no matter how good intention, is surrounded by wicked men, there's nothing he plans to do that will work. Pharaoh was able to do great things because he had a wise boy, a slave, Joseph, advising him. He was able to tell him his dream, interpreted it, and in his wisdom, he brought him to execute it for him. The king of Babylon, because he was able to do mighty things because he had Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, enslaved Hebrew boys. He only fell out with them when he wanted to force them to begin to worship him like some sycophants, and they refused. The truth is, let us restructure the security architecture of Nigeria. Let us take security back to the communities. The current security architecture of Nigeria is not working and will not work. And if we have 24/7 security in Nigeria, people will go back to work. Processing factories will come in. Nigeria will be able to produce and export nothing less than $375 billion worth of non-oil exports and revenues into Nigeria. If you guys don't know how to do it, Mr. President, I have a template we've developed. What to do, how to do it, when to do it, the resources that are required to do it, the structure that will make it non-cumbersome without even touching your fiscal revenues to accomplish it. If you do this, by 2027, we will be heading towards $1 trillion economy that has all-inclusive prosperity for Nigerians. but you must take the right steps. The policies were right, the programs were right, but the institutional fundamental problems that will have been removed for the police to work were not removed, and it's not yet to remove it. I have shared it. Heaven and earth bear me witness. For the opting time, I'm doing this. At the risk to my life and my existence, I am doing this. Please, Nigeria is a land flowing with milk and honey, a resource-filled land that is hemorrhaging. Only us can fix it, and we know the truth. Do the right thing, and let God be glorified. Thank you, and God bless you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I woke up to the rude shock of the news of liquidation of Heritage Bank by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the NDIC. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nemeka Onyeka Obiariri. I want to humbly make this submission that every problem identified is a well of wealth. When you provide the solutions to that problem, the solutions you provide to solve that problem is actually the cup with which you will use to draw from that well of wealth. Problems are well of wealth. Once you provide solutions, solutions are the cup which you use to draw from that well of wealth. I read, the problem we have in Nigeria is that most of us busy ourselves complaining, recriminating. Yes, the situations are so terrible in Nigeria today. Let nobody deceive themselves. But the truth is, despite the teaching problems, despite the hacking problems, within these problems, there are solutions. And these solutions provided will help us to draw from that well of wealth. Most of us will always engage in ethno-religious gaslighting, just to hide our weaknesses, to hide our Olodoism. I use the word Olodoism, Olodos, to be very funny. But I read an article. I read a Twitter rant by one of these clowns who tried to sow ethno-religious strife. He was lamenting that a basket of tomato is at 5,000 in Jos, and it is 150,000 in Lagos. A massive big ram in Zaria, he was saying, is about 150,000 in Lagos, 300,000, and he was trying to show some ethno-religious strife by saying that we that live in Lagos are being exploited by those from the north. And this is one of those things, and he termed it liberalism, that we the Lagos are liberal, so people come in. The guy forgot one fact, that a year ago or 2 years ago, a bag of tomato was 20,000 in Jos, and of course a liter of the AGO was 250 naira per liter. Today a liter of the AGO is about 1,500. To move a truck from Jos to Lagos will take about 250 liters of gas oil, AGO. So you can see the difference. A liter, 50,000 will have taken a truck from Jos to Lagos. Today, 375,000 naira is what a truck will use to move from Jos, to buy fuel alone from Jos to Lagos. Not talking about maintenance, but that's not an excuse. What do? It's a simple law of demand and supply. We've always said this. You see, to fix Nigeria is the simplest thing for anybody that has a creative mind, patriotic zeal, honesty, and passionate creativity. The problem we have in Nigeria today is that we have at the leadership cadre and the followership cadre many who lack the power of creative thinking, the power of solution provisioning. Our minds are programmed to just see problems and lament on problems and recriminate and blame everybody outside of us. But we forgot that once a finger is pointing at other people, the four are pointing back at you. And the truth is, we can actually solve the problems in this land without gaslighting anybody. And I said to the guy, I was so angry. This is a common economic problem. A guy who is producing tomato in Jos has seen the cost of logistics, insecurity, and other things multiply. Therefore, you will not expect him to produce his tomato at 20,000 at the cost of 20,000 per basket, sell at 5,000 in Jos per basket, and then sell the same tomato in Lagos. It's not possible.
you will need to factor in the cost of diesel, the cost of the massive extortion points on the road by the police and security agencies, and then other ancillary costs. And of course, even saying that 150,000 is his only way he can actually break even and make profit. When you factor in the issue of inflation rates at 40% food inflation and other exogenous factors that he has no control over. Now, rather than stay in Lagos and lament and try to show religious strife out of our foolishness and laziness, have we thought about this? In Lagos State, we have 22 million man market. Lagos State is a place, there's very small land mass. It's just like Singapore. Singapore is as small as Alimosho. Singapore is 720 square miles in size. Singapore, this Singapore we talk about. In fact, Singapore in 2023 did export over $720 billion. Singapore's export is about, what are we talking about here? Singapore dwarfs Nigeria in every indices. Singapore is as small as Alimosho. Lagos State has a landmass of over 3,000 square kilometers. Singapore has a landmass that is actually a fifth of Lagos landmass. But yet, Singapore is bigger than Nigeria in every indices. Singapore is a first world country because they have focused leaders and focused followership. People that know what they want. So rather than try to gaslight people, do wrong things and be stupid and foolish, have you bothered to ask yourself this question? There are modern technology that can be applied to produce tomatoes that will give you tomatoes that will give you far much higher yield than you can get from any place in Jos or any of the Middle Belt states. Look at this. If we decide today in Lagos State to create greenhouse farms, first for tomato production, greenhouse farms just for tomato production, we can be able to produce enough tomato and veggies that can take care of the whole of the Southwest. Rather than lament, so this problem is an opportunity. And as I'm talking to you now, at the Ibejuleki axis, I and my team have acquired over 150 plus of land. And what are we going to use it to do? We are going to use it to develop greenhouse, massive climate-controlled greenhouse projects for veggies production, from tomato to pepper, habanero, tatashi, bell pepper, carrot, onions. The mass market is here. Why the guy in Jos is producing a basket of tomato at 20,000? We are going to be producing a basket of tomato in our greenhouse at a cost, all-in cost of less than 15,000 naira per basket. Why the man from Jos is contending with logistics costs, the issues of insecurity? We are going to do business to consumers. We have an app that we are developing so that our massive greenhouses will be able to supply straight to the consumers without going through distributors. So if you want to buy tomato at 35,000 naira, the same per basket, rather than 150 naira per basket as it's sold in Jos, you have to devise creative means of creating your own market here. Now, I've said this now. We are investing heavily in the agro sector. We are doing massive 30 hectares in Ibadan. We are doing in Ondo. We are doing in Lagos. We are doing the Lagos project. It's a 150 plot of land, massive. We are doing almost about the first pilot is 150 greenhouse units, 960 square meter each. Climate control, high-tech greenhouse projects. Do you understand that in Lagos State, if we're able to do 18,500 greenhouses in Lagos State of the same size, we will be able to produce enough veggies for Lagos market alone. It will take about $3 million to execute this project. Annually, we can get almost about $500 million, and at a price that will make it very competitive. Nobody can compete with us from anywhere in Nigeria. But you know the irony of it. Now we are thinking creatively. By the time we start this project, one other lazy clown will now start shouting Ronu Oh, the Igbo man has come to take over their market. The Igbo man has come to take over their state. The guy who is now complaining that a basket of tomato sells at 5,000 in Jos and 150K in Lagos, out of his myopic nature, out of his wicked, vindictive, religious, brainwashed brain, we now realize that by me investing my sweat, my time, my monies, and aggregating funds to be able to sell tomatoes to him at a cost of 30,000 naira per basket, rather than current 1,000 naira, and I'm solving a problem for him. But rather than see that way, the next thing that will come to his mind, oh, he's an Igbo man. He's taking over my land. He's taking over my land. He forgot that those land, I bought those land and I paid for those land. He forgot that the investment that we're doing, that most of those greenhouse structures were imported wholly from China. He forgot also that we are going to be creating massive 3,000 jobs within the axis. Mostly his own people going to work there. He forgot that we are going to be creating, adding so much value, $500 million value to the GDP of Lagos State. He forgets that even though they are going to be employed there, they are going to be paying taxes to Lagos State government, and we are going to be also paying corporate tax on the SPP we are using. But for the man, his mind is so fixated with his Roman mentality. He sees everything from a religious point of view. He views the man helping him from every part of the world as an enemy who is taking over his land. The same man will travel to the UK to get British passport. The same man will travel to Canada to get Canadian passport. The same man will be so free to contest elections in Canada and become a minister, to contest elections in UK and go to UK parliament. Nobody will abuse him. Nobody will heckle him. Nobody will insult him. But because somebody from here, somebody from other part of Nigeria, who is also a Nigerian like him, is trying to create value that will help solve a problem for him, create job, add to the GDP of the state where he comes from. He will see it from that angle because his mind is so narrow. As the son of the devil or daughter of the devil that he or she is, he does not see things from the progressive point of view. Anyway, so we do this kind of things for the sake of love of God and humanity. There's something I understand. You can't claim to be a Christian when you don't show forth as the light of the world and the salt of the earth. And being the light of the world and the salt, it just simply means adding value to the planet God created and handed over to us. God, there are over 1 billion of universes bigger than the earth. But God, for whatever reason, chose to do the earth here and put us here. And God, in his commission, said, go, replenish the earth, multiply, subdue it, add value. And that is why we are here. Any man who claims to love God and humanity, the first thought that will always come to his mind, beyond selfishness, is how to show the love of God and humanity by adding value. And that is what we are doing. When you see me every day go online to lament and to say something, it's for the sake of those who are ignorant. Interestingly, most of those who create and drive this religious tribes are the very poor. Those are the lowest point of the socio-economic pyramid. They don't even understand it. They are ignorant, they are brainwashed, they are illiterate, they are poverty-stricken. I've never seen anywhere in the whole world where those in chains love their chain and defend those who chain them. I will have taken see, as I'm talking to you now, they've called me from Liberia. There are dearth of greenhouse in Liberia. In fact, see, I don't want to, I need to contain information. In Liberia, somebody in Liberia from the federal government of Liberia saw one of my posts and they contacted me. Most of the beefs eaten in Liberia, most of the veggies are imported. And they are saying, dog, come over to Liberia, come over to Macedonia and do these greenhouses. As I'm talking to you, lands have been made available. And by next week, I am going to Monrovia. We will do greenhouses. We will provide them with enough veggies. That is adding value to humanity. See, go and check. Wealth without enterprise is godlessness and criminality. You cannot go to the West, from Mark Zuckerberg to Warren Buffett to Elon Musk. Go and check the billionaires in dollars in the US. They created value that has added value to humanity. You cannot credibly claim to be a wealthy man when your impact and footprint in the value add to humanity is not seen. P2B always talk about this. We are where we are today because we have vast wealthy men who have no value or honest enterprise. All they do is steal, cream out, kill, deny, loot from the masses and from the state. Anyway, thank you for granting me audience. For the Ronu guys, please, Nemeka Obiri and his team are not coming to take over your land. I come from a place called Amagu Ihube Autonomous Community in Okigwe local government area in Imo State. I have a family. I am at the end of the day, I will settle my I will do my retirement in my country home in my village. I have no plan or no desire to annex anybody's land to live in Lagos forever. I am only here for the meantime. By the time I'm 60, 62, I'm heading home. I will just pray that God will help us to get a government in Imo State, another part of the Southeast, that will be able to muster the political will and strength and the legitimacy and courage of the people to slay the incorruption, the insecurity that we have here, and decimate the criminals who are making lives unbearable for those in the Southeast. We will rebuild the land. We will make this land glorious. We will make this land fruitful. Nigeria is a country that ticks the right boxes to become a 2.53 trillion naira economy. And we are here to add value. Like Shadrach, like Daniel, like Meshach, like Abednego. We will not bow before any golden altar. Any golden efig. Golden image. We will not bow before any Nebuchadnezzar. We will not bow before any wickedness. We will keep on saying the truth, living the truth, and doing the truth. God bless you. Amen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies.
Welcome, everyone. Greetings to you. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the house and in the world. Happy Father's Day to you guys. I know this is coming a day late, but we're still celebrating Father's Day. This is a special shout out to all fathers. Thank you for being the men that you are. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for protecting, guiding, leading. You know what you do best. Thank you for all of it, So, my people, how na dey o? Another one don't happen today o. Here we are o. Aluta continua. We continue to fight o. We can't give up. We go shall do the one we fit do. We will do what we need to do o. To
Then make the pay Senator and Rep 65K. Make all of us they enjoy the suffering and smiling. What you give is what you deserve. Ojoro no day. Free Nnamdi Kanu. Shout out to very black dark man. Where our daddy, Pastor Adeboye. During Good Luck Jonathan, your voice was so loud. You even vowed to stage a 1 million match. Hunger and hardship under Tinubu government. You say Nigeria gets spiritual problem. Baba, we need your 1 million disciples to protest against President Tinubu government. Just the way you protest against President Jonathan. Daddy, I be legged on the pain your disciples. Fact, this is a very big hypocrisy. It's time for you to speak the truth to power because hunger won't kill Nigerians. Tinubu government blame Buhari. Buhari government blame Jonathan. Hunger day, people they die. This one don't pass jaga. Oh, baby, look, OTV.
If you were born before 1971, you must see this. The digital dollar.
The past few weeks, Nigerians have seen many constitutional amendments being proposed from regional government to the one that is actually before the Federal House of Assembly. They are considering a bill that proposes to limit the tenure of governors and presidents to a single tenure of 6 years. They also want to add rotational presidency between the 6 geopolitical zones, plus a second vice president at a time when the government is supposed to be cutting down on expenditure. They want to add an additional executive office. Constitutional amendments are normal things that are done in a democracy. It has been done before in Nigeria in this Fourth Republic. But why are they not focusing on things that will unite Nigerians more? Before we come to the things that will unite Nigerians more, the reason they want to reduce the tenure to a single tenure of 6 years for governors and presidents is simply because they want to cut down on the time they have to loot the treasury. Yes. Is that the right approach? No. Anyone who wants to loot the treasury, even if he has only 1 day in office, he will use that to loot every amount that he needs. So reducing the tenure of a governor or president to a single tenure of 6 years will not guarantee that they will not loot or that they will loot less. How much they were supposed to loot in 8 years, that they will loot, instead of looting 80 billion naira like Yahaya Bello did, the person will now loot 60 billion naira because he spent fewer years in office. That's not how it works. Instead of focusing on cutting down their tenure or limiting it to a single tenure, and devote all the effort and make sure that all the agencies, we have many agencies, EFCC, police, SSS, that all of them do their jobs to be able to catch looters. Why not remove immunity for a start? If you remove the immunity of a governor, that means he can be tried while in office. He can be arrested like every other Nigerian. That alone will reduce that looting by more than 50%. Yes. Also, why not make sure that the courts where these looters will be brought to, where they will be charged, that these courts always do the right thing, that they always follow the law and apply it the way it's supposed to be applied, that these judges will not collect bribes from looters and set them free. These are the things that they should focus on to make sure they strengthen the institutions in Nigeria, not trying to limit the tenure of a governor as if 1 week is not enough for the person to loot billions of naira. Now to rotational presidency. The reason they want to make this amendment is because they recognize that some politicians and some political parties have ganged up against an ethnic group or some ethnic groups or some regions in Nigeria that have never produced the president for a very long time. Some have never even produced at all. While rotational presidency falls under equity, justice, and fairness, the disadvantages actually outweigh the benefits. Because what it means is that if one geopolitical zone produces the president today, and that president spends 6 years in office, it will take 36 years for the same geopolitical zone to produce another president. What it means is that if there is a better candidate in another geopolitical zone, he will not be eligible to contest, despite the fact that he can turn around the economy of Nigeria better than any other candidate at the present time. The fact that it is not the turn of his geopolitical zone will mean that Nigerians will miss out on that smart candidate because of rotational presidency. So it does more harm than good. We cannot, because we want equity, justice, and fairness in our country, and miss out someone or people who can turn around the country to become a first world country. That's not right. If rotational presidency shouldn't be added as an amendment to the Constitution of Nigeria, what other measures can the National Assembly members take to guarantee equity, fairness, and justice, to stop the gang-up of political parties or politicians against some other ethnic groups in Nigeria, so as to give everyone a sense of belonging? Because it is when people have a sense of belonging that they give all their best to the country, that they become 100% patriotic. But when they don't feel wanted, they will even be sabotaging the country because they feel, you don't want me, okay, take it alone. If they see anything that they can work against you, they will do that. What the lawmakers should do is actually very simple. The past presidential election proved that anyone that is popular and smarter than other candidates can actually win the presidential election in Nigeria. The proof is there. Whether the person belongs to a known party, whether the person covers all the geopolitical zones. Whatever the person does, once that person is the best candidate and people actually voted for that person will defeat the gang up of political parties and politicians who don't want someone from his region or someone his ethnicity to become the president. So what the lawmakers should do is to guarantee free and fair elections in Nigeria. It's very simple. If there is free and fair elections in Nigeria, like it happened in South Africa a few weeks ago, or like it happened in Nigeria in 1993, any candidate from whatever ethnicity in Nigeria, even if he comes from an ethnic group that is less than 2,000 people, he will win the election once he got the popular vote. The problem is when these corrupt politicians gang up and capture the state, they use ill-gotten money to buy up everything, buy up and hijack the whole system. They will buy up INEC officials, buy police, buy army, everyone, even the courts and judges. So whether they won the election or not, they will win at the tribunal, at the Supreme Court, they win everywhere. So this is the problem. They don't need to include rotational presidency to guarantee that every ethnic group, or at least everyone from every geopolitical zone, must have the chance to produce the president. No, it's not necessary at all. All we need to have is free and fair election. They can guarantee this by making sure that all election results are uploaded. They have to punch the figures. Look at small African countries. They conduct an election today, the results are announced the same day, or maybe into the night. But ours take days and days and days, a long time, because of logistics problem. So if free and fair elections can be guaranteed, there's no need talking about zoning it to this person, zoning it to this region, zoning it to where and there. It's not necessary at all. Now to the constitutional amendments that National Assembly members should consider. These amendments are things that will actually unite Nigerians more. Do you know that feeling of someone who comes from a very poor family? His father is a nobody, he's poor, but at least he tried to educate him. And he has graduated from university, there's no job. And all of a sudden, because he's intelligent, he attends an interview conducted by the government, and to his surprise, he's given the job. Despite not knowing anyone in government, not having any uncle anywhere, or any chief, or any alhaji, he still got the job based on his intelligence, on his competence. This is what is needed in Nigeria. This will not only benefit Nigeria because they are now hiring competent people instead of basing it on quota system. It will make people more patriotic. They will believe more in the country. Imagine someone talking down on your country when you got a job without knowing any alhaji or any chief or any oba anywhere. You will believe in the country more than ever because you have actually achieved your Nigerian dream in the country. These are areas they should look at and make sure they amend the constitution so that it will guarantee equity, fairness, and justice. Now, there's another issue going on in Nigeria right now. The federal government took the state governments to court so that the Supreme Court justices would decide on the issue of autonomy of local government areas. This is where the National Assembly comes in. They must make sure they abolish local government areas in Nigerian constitution. Yes, the way local government areas were created by the military boys when they created states and local government areas has always been seen as being unfair. This is because when a state has more local government areas than another state, that means they're receiving more revenue from the federal government, which is not fair to other states. So what they should do is, take for instance a state like Lagos. They are more populated than Kano State, but Kano State has over 100% more local government areas than Lagos State. Yes, they say that landmass counts as one of the factors they use in creating local government areas. But why don't they consider other factors that affect Lagos that do not affect Kano State? Lagos State faces more flooding than Kano State. Their lands are waterlogged more than Kano will ever be in centuries to come. Road construction in Lagos is more expensive than in Kano. They must sunfill the land because it is waterlogged. In most cases, they have to do with bridges in order to construct the road. So it's very unfair that the military boys gave Kano State 44 local government areas and gave Lagos State only 20 local government areas. They should abolish local government areas. It is the single most important factor that will unite Nigerians because they will start seeing it as being equitable. They should replace local government areas with municipal districts. All cities that qualify to have a mayor will have mayors, and all the other spaces within the state will be governed directly by the state governors. There are many other amendments National Assembly members can do that will unite Nigerians more instead of wasting time on things that will not make any effect. It won't change anything. Limiting tenure of a governor will not stop him from putting the state dry. Instead, focus the energy. Make sure they can hold people responsible. Make sure all the agencies are effective enough to prosecute them. Make sure there are no corrupt justices in our courts. After all, part of the problem we are facing today were caused by them. Thanks for watching.
Friday made it officially from the 7th of June to Friday. That was 1 week. So now we're in the second week. And what my plans are is just to ensure that every week we have a new activity that cuts across regions, media platforms, in person, and so forth. And the whole point of doing this is to ensure that people in the grassroots get as much information as they can about the state of the nation. It's not necessarily about people on the internet, but I need people online to pass the message to those offline. And that was why I started off with the WhatsApp groups. The 300 WhatsApp groups was to enable me reach people, in as much as a lot of Nigerians are offline, and I'm talking about millions. Let's look at Twitter alone. The percentage of Nigerians on Twitter, I don't even think we have up to 6 million Nigerians on Twitter. I don't think we have up to that. But there are millions and millions of Nigerians on WhatsApp, and these are people, your everyday average Nigerian. Even those who are not tech savvy, they are able to use WhatsApp. So I figured the best way to reach them, even if not in person, is to start from WhatsApp. If you're able to connect with them, then they are going to connect with those offline who don't even have WhatsApp or X or any other platform. So when we started this, my intentions were to have people, the WhatsApp group admins, they are all admins, and I wanted everyone to be empowered in the sense that they get to control what is shared on their group, and they get to reach their audience in the language they understand. We're all unique. We're all from different areas. We are all completely from different walks of life. So I can't just lump everyone in a group and start tweeting at them. Rather, you can reach your contact, and those contacts are most likely your friends, your business associates, your family, and they're more likely to listen to you. They're more likely to engage you in a conversation than me, a total stranger from nowhere, telling you about Nigeria. So that was why I had to divide it in that way, so that by 300 groups, we're able to reach at least 15,000 people. And so far we are, because each time you share an information on your WhatsApp group, believe it or not, people are reading it. Whether they choose to respond to that message or not, it's a completely different issue. And one thing about information is once you get it, once you know something, you can't unknow it. You've landed, you're moving on with it. And the more you continue to hear something, the more it becomes a message, it becomes a part of you. In fact, you start to look for it. And that has been what kept me on this project, to the fact that I don't necessarily need to receive any information from Nigeria. What I see online is enough for me. I don't need anybody coming to my WhatsApp to tell me. But I feel like there are a lot of people who do not know. Those of us who are on the internet, we are very, very lucky. We are opportuned to have information at our fingertips. If you're on social media, you are 1,000% more likely to know what's going to happen than those who are offline. And for example, when you look at those who have been doing this offline outreach, you can see that some of the people that they try to speak to, they seem confused about what's going on. Look at the paper that the Operation Boots on the, sorry, not Operation, the hashtag Boots on the Ground team shared, the one with Tinubu's expenses. There are pictures and videos where the people reading it, they did not know what was happening. They were flabbergasted by the amount of money mentioned on those papers, right? And this is the disturbing because as a Nigerian, you should know what's happening in Asorok, even if you're not in there. Information is free. It should be free. It should be so free that you get to choose where you want to get your information from. But that's not the case for Nigerians. They don't get to choose where they want to get the information from. They only get fed what the government wants them to know. And that's why the mainstream media has been hijacked. They only publish what's approved from whoever that is in charge of the business. So Operation Rescue Nigeria is meant to cut across that, bypass the red lines, bypass the blue lines, cut through the tape. We do not need mass media to tell the people that it is time for them to take over their country. We do not need the mainstream media to tell the people what their rights are. Because I believe that the reason why Nigeria is this way is because there are a lot of people do not know what they should know. It's not that Nigerians are completely illiterate. It's not like Nigerians are all ignorant. It's just that the information, I'm pretty sure that if they have it, they'll make good use of it. Those of us who have it on social media, we're already doing stuff with it, right? You see people running around posting things, breaking news. People are practically running their own media company on social media, sharing information. But at the end of the day, the community that are absorbing this information are just a minor few. They're nothing compared to those who do not have access to that information. And those are the people we need to understand what's going on. We need majority of Nigerians to know that the president of the country has spent so amount of money on this. We need people to know that the reason why you're buying 2 or 3 seeds of tomato for 500 or 1,000 naira, it's not because it's not tomato season, like the mainstream media or people would have you believe, because that's really what happens. I remember when I used to live in Nigeria, information was also restricted in this manner, but not as aggressively as this. What I mean is, what we knew back in Nigeria, and I'm talking about me and the people I grew up with, the kind of information we knew were only when we listened to radio, the radio and TV. There was no other place to know the truth. So whatever we had on radio or watched on TV, NTA news at 7 or 9, or whatever it is that the newspaper publishes, is really what we go by. There was nobody to check me. There was nobody to say that's a lie. There's nobody to verify. There's nothing like investigative journalists going around the corner telling people the actual truth. So how do you know you have the right information if you're not actually given the option to choose which information is good for you? So without wasting much time here, I feel like there's a lot more we can do. Money is good in terms of donation. Donation is good, but it can only go as far as when I thought about this initiative, and I'm like, okay, how are we going to fund it? I said, it's not about money. I personally do not need your money to run this movement, because it's not even a campaign thing. It's not even something that you need to spend a lot of money on. It is something that you alone can reach 5 people around you without spending a kobo. All you need to do is to talk, start a conversation, strike a conversation in a bus, in church, at work, at school, online, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, anywhere you can, and you don't have to spend anything on it, right? Because the idea that, oh, let's start donating and let's start collecting money and doing this and doing that, how many people are you going to pay to go and explain to Nigerians what's going on in Asorok? The idea is not for you to pay people to do this. The idea is for you to know and then teach one another what you've learned. Because information is not a one-way thing. It's not one thing. It's something that has to rotate. It has to continuously go round and round and round and round. It has to become so easy that even when you stop telling somebody, the person who has initially learned from you would come back to you to bring to you a new knowledge that you did not know existed. That's really what we're trying to achieve here. Now, a lot of people have come to me asking how they can support. How can they support Operation Rescue Nigeria? They love what we're doing. They see the pictures online. They see this, they see that. I thank them. And I know some of them are here. I'm very grateful that you'd like to contribute. You'd like to put money into something you find very, very amazing. However, instead of contributing money, how about printing these materials that we've been distributing, right? Instead of doing me 100K, 50K, 200K, or whatever, a copy of a piece of paper, like I came to know last week, was what, 35 naira or 40 naira, doctor? How much was it that we were negotiating the other day, right?
Yeah, it's 35 naira. 35
It's
naira.
cheap. In fact, that's only because of the region, right? It could even be cheaper in your own state. Like if you're in a place that it's not so, if you have a printing press off the city, they might even charge you 20 naira or 25, right? So you do not need to pay people to do stuff like this for you. What you can do is you find a printing press in your area. You use that money. You email them these documents we've been showing online. Tell them to print you 10,000 copies, 20,000, 1,000, 100, or even 500, or even 10, as much as your money can carry. Have them deliver it to you wherever you want them delivered. Then you come online and say, guys, I am in the diaspora. I'm not there with you. But if anybody would like to distribute these papers in person, in my state, in my village, in whatever, send me a DM. I have 10,000 copies. I have 200 copies. I have 5,000 copies. Let's figure out how we can share it. How can I get it to you? That is how you do it. By then, you are accountable for the money that you wanted to do this campaign with. You don't need to send it to me. You don't need to give it to anybody to do these things for you. The point is that we need this message to you, your family, everyone around you. Now, this is not me discouraging anybody who wants to donate money. No, I am not. But I'm just saying that for me, Gongo Oluchi, I can't manage people's money. Not that if you give me money, I will not know how to print. I can't. And there's this thing about not having time. I cannot start counting how many people. Doctor knows we've been printing offline. I've been sending money offline, out of pocket. I don't announce it. I don't post screenshots. I don't need to, right? That's me in the diaspora doing the way I think everybody should be doing it. So being in the diaspora and not being able to do things on the ground is not an excuse. If you have your money, even meet people, meet doctor, meet Chigozie, let them find you a printing press in the area and get it, have it delivered to or pay for somebody to do it. If you see someone on timeline saying, hey, I'd like to do this, but I can't afford printing. Great, I can do it for you. If I print, would you distribute? That way you have started something. So that's really my own vision. It's not meant to discourage anyone. I've also had people come in the DM wanting to acknowledge those who have been doing stuff, appreciate them, give them little something. I'm very big on reward. I don't believe in doing things without any reward. Even in the company I work for, after negotiating my salary, after negotiating my benefit, after negotiating everything, I still get some rewards here and there. Maybe employee of the week or master guinea of the month, stuff like that, right? It keeps people going. And in a country like Nigeria, it's hard already having to make you print papers out of the blue. I mean, you might think to yourself, what am I going to get from this? Yeah, I'm trying to be an activist, but I'm trying to preach the gospel, but I don't have money. So how will I do it? Well, if someone rewards you, you can take a piece of that money and go print some more papers. And so when people come to me saying they want to reward people, I say, go ahead. You don't need to reward me because I have not done anything that needs payment. I have not actually done anything in this particular course that needs you to dash me money. But again, instead of dashing me that money, come to me. Let's talk about how you can print as many as you want. You control it, you send it to the printer, they print, they deliver it to you. You can tweet and say, I am from Enugu State. Now, right now, we have not cut across different regions. And I know a lot of people are just sitting on the sideline watching and hoping and saying, oh, this is not what is going to move Nigeria forward. Nigeria needs a complete revolution. Nigeria has to, this thing is not going to work. Yeah. Well, that is the only thing I'm willing to do. That is the only thing Oluchi can do. I cannot wake up and tell you to grab a cutlass and march to Aso. I cannot wake up and tell you to go and buy fuel and burn down your local police station. That is not what I know. this one that I'm doing is the only one that I can do, and I know I am within my rights to do it. So instead of you sitting online, waiting for who's going to light the police station or the building on fire for you so that you can say, oh, it has started, why not do the one that you feel comfortable doing? Why not pick an activity? You don't necessarily have to do any of this. You don't have to print papers. You don't have to preach the gospel. Think, there are 1,000,001 ways to protest. How about you say, okay, me and my friends, we're in a union. We have 10,000 people or 5,000 people in our union. We're going to pull all our money. We're no longer depositing. We don't like the interest rate. We're no longer going to do, this is our own way of protesting. We're no longer going to bank in this bank. We're going to keep our money at home or keep it elsewhere. We're done. That is protesting. If 5,000 people withdraw their money out of the banks, do you know what's going to happen? Chaos, right? So there are so many things you can do. There are so many, 1,000,001 things you can do. So if you do not have the ideas, if you can't come up with something to do and you wish to support those already doing it, please don't expect anybody to just collect your money and be doing things for you. You have to also roll your sleeves and get down to business. I need you. I personally want you to partake in it. Don't just throw your money at me and walk away. Don't just throw your money and then start with, because the problem here is we have tried the part of contributing. It happened during NSAS. We saw how it worked, right? People were contributing. Even the owner of Twitter at that time gave us some money for NSAS. He gave it in Bitcoin, right? We all saw it happen. But how did that end? What exactly is the outcome of that? What exactly came out of it? Nothing, right? Yeah, money was spent on food, medical, and blah, 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 and whatnot. That's really all there is. But people still have not gotten that knowledge of why they need to do what they're doing. A lot of people went out to protest because there's free food. Some people went out to protest because of free water. A lot of people went out to protest because there's somebody bringing money. But they do not have the knowledge. So we are going back to the drawing board. We are starting from the beginning. Because on a normal basis, these are things that should be taught in school for free. These are things that should be taught in extramural classes. These are things that parents should be teaching their kids. These are things that should be even broadcasted on TV. The media no longer educate people about their rights. Everybody is on hush-hush. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to call out the elephant in the room. So who is going to do it? Who is going to educate those people offline? You and I, we on this space right now, we have more knowledge than, say, 60% of people offline, because we are getting real-time information. Some people are able to post updates straight from Asorok right here. But who's going to tell those offline? Because at the end of the day, what you need are people who are going to stand up and say, enough is enough. And they're going to be able to march to where their problems are and lay down their complaints and say, you know what, we're not living anywhere. We're tired. You have to do something today or forget about it. We're going to sleep here. But the people online, many of them are in the diaspora. In case you haven't known, even the space where doctor is in the diaspora. Doctor is not going to protest for you. Doctor is not going to leave his job and go to Nigeria and start doing anything, right? And I'm not. I have no interest in it. So even if I cannot do that, what else can I do? I can impart knowledge. I can awaken consciousness. I can educate. I have been doing that for years on social media. I have been trying to awaken consciousness on my timeline, but it's not enough, because those on my timeline already know. They already have the information that I have. So how do I extend it? That's where you come in. You in the grassroots that also have access to the internet. When you get that knowledge, you share it. That's really all we're doing. And when you share it, let those who absorb this information figure out what to do with it. When you have known, when you have learned something new, this is one last example before I drop off. Here's how I look at the issues. Right now, many Nigerians don't know that something is being stolen from them. And when you as an individual, if you don't feel like something is stolen from you, are you going to report to the police? Are you going to lodge a complaint? Are you going, you don't feel like you lost anything, so there's no problems. The only time you start to fuss about losing something is when you actually know that this thing you lost belongs to you. when you realize that my property, something from me, something in my country, something that is our collective wealth is being stolen, that is when you become angry and trying to find a way to retrieve it. Because when you have known, you can't unknow. But right now, a lot of Nigerians don't know what is being stolen from them and how it concerns them. They don't know what's being stolen. They can't fight for what they don't know. They don't understand how the looting in Asorok is affecting them. They don't understand how the looting in Asorok is causing them not to buy the tomatoes they used to buy in buckets. They don't understand the connection between Tinubu buying a private yacht and them having to pay maybe 24,000 for a tin of milk. They don't understand this thing. Somebody has to bridge that gap. So until you know, you really can't do anything about it. And that's what we're trying to achieve here. So once again, thank you so much for all your support. Like I said, Operation Rescue Nigeria is just, we're all on a more like it's just more like an educative mission. And right now, we're not accepting any donations, but feel free to support people who are already on ground doing these things. If you see somebody working extra hard and you feel like, hey, I want to support this person, or I want to give them more materials, not just money to eat. I want to help them. Maybe they need more papers. Maybe they need a megaphone. Help them, support them. That's fine. But I want you to also be part of the process. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
My people, oh, I don't hear. Oh, I think I mentioned this to you guys last week. So that's what's going on ground. If you want to be a part of it, you can translate some of the stuff that's going on in Nigeria. You can actually find Dr. Oakena on Twitter or General Oluchi, right? They actually Dr. Oakena is the one who has the print, but General Oluchi is the one with the WhatsApp group. Have people form WhatsApp groups of 30 people in a group, so that way you can, talk to them about what's going on in Nigeria, so that you can take that to the grassroots. So whichever one you want to do, you can do that. And like she said, you can, get some of those copies and send it to someone in your community or your village or whatever. You can have it translated and have them print it in bulk. So everybody has to find something to do. Like she said, there's so many things we can do in Nigeria to really, really change the system. But I don't know. I mean, like she said, you can choose not to put your money in the bank, right? You can choose not to go to work, right? Everybody can choose to sit it out. All the domestic staff can choose to say, we need to go work today. All the nannies, everyone can do that. People can form communities where they can be helping each other out in the event that, okay, they choose not to work, they choose not to go to work, or they choose not to what's it called, um let's say enter transportation. Don't spend your money at all, just sit at home. These are things that can be done on very small scale that can bring about the necessary change. All the airport staff can decide they're not going to come to work. All the drivers can decide they're not going to be on the roads. They're not going to take anybody to or from anywhere, right? So many things that can happen. All the, if to say police officers know wetin dem dey do with all this, with the suffer when dem dey suffer, dem dey use nylon take dey tie their trouser like belt. Dem no get belt, so dem go use nylon bag take tie am. All those things, see the place where dem dey stay, even animal no fit stay there, right? If to say dem know wetin dem do, dem go just say, you know what, we no dey go work. Everybody go just shut down everywhere. Market women go say, well, no kukuma profit for me, make I stay house. You know the kind of change that can happen. So I'm in line with that thought process. I'm in line with what they're doing. I appreciate what they're doing. Right now is a do election. I know that people right now, the focus is the election and people are trying to vote. I am waiting for the election to be over so that I can get people in the different communities that I know, find somebody in the grassroots that will help me, translate these things into the local language and share it. because, like she said, a lot of people don't know the extent of how bad and how terrible. Because remember, they know they give some people 10 years, they never get light. Some communities dey 20 years, 10 years, 20 years, they never see light. Some people never ever get electricity. They no even carry go their side at all. So we have communities like that. Who's going to take the message to them? So everybody get role to play for this matter. Everybody, nobody can afford to fold hand and say, well, e no concern me. E concern you, because guess what? When e touch one person, e touch you indirectly, directly or indirectly. You have to decide which direction you want to move this thing. We cannot continue to fold our hands. Nigeria is going down the drain. It's our ancestral home. There's a reason why you're a Nigerian. You're not just a Nigerian for mouth. You're a Nigerian in that soil for you to protect it. If you can't protect your soil, you cannot protect your community. That means you failed as people. And I know that we're not failures. I know that we're very resilient people. We have to show that resilience by pushing back on this government. You guys here, Tinubu wants to buy a new aircraft. They are pushing for it. Meanwhile, he's telling Nigerians to continue to suffer, that there is more suffering, because he wants to serve himself. That man just came to serve only himself, to line his own pocket and the pocket of his minions. They have no clue on how to run the society. Under Tinubu, the entire country is sinking. People are starving. People are being unalived on a daily basis. You can't even, sometimes there's some information, right, that you can't even read about Nigeria, because it's so depressing. It's so depressing. You see it and you just scroll past immediately, because your my heart cannot handle some of this information. So I'm very careful, I'm very selective about what I choose to read and what I don't want to read. But as Nigerians, we have a very important role to play. We cannot afford to play the ostrich. We can't. If you like being the diaspora, regardless of where you are, it will touch everybody. It will touch everybody. If we're not careful, if we don't do what we're supposed to do, if we don't do what we're supposed to do, it's going to touch everybody. Now people are now saying, I see people are now coming out and saying that it was a propaganda that they used. What's the name of this northern leader? I can't remember his name now. Came out, oh, it was propaganda they used, that they did not, they lied to them about the Igbo people, one thing. I just dey laugh. I say, una be baby, I no understand. You people, you look at all the things that are going on and you think that na Igbo na be your problem. Now they are all seeing Southeasterners warned us against Tinubu's presidency, but we use propaganda, labeling them with Biafra agenda. See Ismaila Yusuf. Na who talk am be that? Now their eye don dey clear. The other one wey be NNPP, whether na their campaign people or whatever it is, right? That one come out too. E say Igbo say oh my God, they never see anything. This suffer go touch everybody. Everybody think say na shebi dem kidnap Fowani, I don't know, for abi LG oga. Dem kidnap am for Lagos. For Lagos na dem kidnap that man. For Lagos dem kidnap a whole owner, CEO of a company, and I think him and 3 people, I no know, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Meanwhile, Kwankwaso say federal government APC creating new Boko Haram in Kano State. Okay, so federal government they create new Boko Haram. Mà ṣe o, I don't know. It's really, it's pathetic. Yes, so Natu, it will touch everybody. As long e go touch, no, e don already dey touch sef. How many days ago for here they catch some kidnappers, Boko Haram people for Edo State? Because all the Eastern people are now, all the Edo people are now gathering together to try and see what they can do about security on their own. People are donating money to try and protect their communities. People are donating money. So they touch everybody already. This one we are seeing it. They just recently catch some. They catch them. They come make them confess. Those ones come talk how they think come those state, how they think infiltrate, how who show them road, the areas where they don't they do they catch them. They release their kidnapped victims in Edo State. So now they've gathered the youths now, the young people, to mobilize them and give them money and fund them so that they can secure those communities. People were not able to go to their farms in some parts of Edo State now. It's only
Even
now
in
that
Kaduna now, people can still not go to their farms. Some parts of Kaduna.
uh,
Yeah.
I hear say for Kaduna, hey, not to welcome a long time. How are you?
Thank you, Jerry. I'm fine, my sister. This thing doesn't alert me anymore. I don't know what happened.
YouTube, I don't know. Is it not so? I don't
I
know.
was just scrolling now and I saw more here online. Say, how didn't I get the alert?
My sister, now so they do see me now, not see me. I don't understand too. So
Let
sometimes
see
just like that,
the thing
maybe
that
you.
is happening. The thing that is happening in Kano, the same thing that happened in Maiduguri is the same thing that will happen in Kano. Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what happened in Kano was that Ganduje is upset with Sanusi, and he now
Hmm.
decide to use his power because the governor has the power to remove and put a new emir. Do you understand? So
I
to spite him, yeah.
see.
So to spite him, he did that, and he even shared the Emirates. He now like reduced the power of the emir by bringing other smaller second-class chiefs and the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when this one came, I said it cannot be done like that. This thing was not done properly. What happened that they removed you? Remove the person you bring and put the person that was there before and bring it back. So now I don't have a full story yet of whatever is happening, but I'm just giving you from the snippet of what we're hearing. Do you
Right.
understand?
Right.
Now Ganduje's boys now start collecting money from him to start going haywire in the street. The same way Shatima did in Mahmoud, what is his name? Mahmoud and
Mm.
Shetima did in Maiduguri, that they had
Right.
their boys doing Boko Haram, and when they came down from power, they didn't have money to fund them, and the boys decided to like spread their tentacles and do worse, and that's what became of all the bandits that we have today. So it's the same thing. Ganduje is APC president. He's seeing money in that seat, supposedly in court. So he has money to give them. When that person claims power tomorrow, he doesn't have money to give them. He's going to ignore them. And then they'll start misbehaving. Now, picking where you know train now, that's why they be. Train
Hey,
pikin go reach us and go tell us say greet people. The pikin they greet before.
they greet. You not train her to
Eh?
greet. Oh,
Do you
we
know
don't
how to
learn am
greet?
overnight.
Do you understand? I get one auntie. Anytime she travel with my mama, all of us go they call my mama at different intervals. They check how far where una dey now. And not nearly reach. She will call her children. They fight her children. So now mama no fit travel. Now go call her check her. They know they used to checking on you, madam. This thing no be competition. Do you understand? So that's what's
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen to Kano if care is not taken because all of this crisis that is happening, Kano, you never touch them. Oh. And I want you to believe that Kano is like 99% Muslim.
Kai,
Yes, it's very rare for you to see an indigenous of Kano that is a Christian.
are you
The
serious?
Christians that are in Kano, like, yes, are immigrants. Yes, that's what I'm telling
Oh,
you. Kano is like 90. But all this Wahala is only around Kano, you never enter am. But you see the thing wey Gaduji they try to do now, now it go cause Kano problem.
wow.
And that is the reason why when they did election, people refused to vote APC. They
Yes.
vote the other party to show
NNPP.
him that they can do and undo. It wasn't like the guy was nice to them after all when he was there. You understand? He wasn't
Uh-huh.
all that. It wasn't all that. But Nigeria, the way Nigeria is going, be like say they don't sell us, they never just give us our share of the money.
They don't sell
Understand that kind of thing?
no doubt. No doubt. That one 100% agree with you. They don't sell am because
Imagine these people go do negotiate minimum wage, say they add 2,000 naira for minimum wage.
62,000.
Shame those people for government, they send their staff go market, they know they give them update of market price of things.
Ah,
This salad basket of tomatoes was 145,000 naira for Kaduna. Oh. This is
mm,
not Lagos. I don't know Lagos price. Now Kaduna price I dey tell you as of Saturday, 145K.
wow.
145K.
And then the ram, rams have become so expensive. People were
My friend
complaining.
told me that the ram reached 1 million for a ram. I told her I said na cow. This one a person where I know where she get to. She complain. She say, "Oh my, if I say that chicken will go chop this salad because the ram no dey mandatory. If you no get, they know they force you make you cut. Now chicken she cooking for her house. She say
Jesus.
1 million for ram. One
Hey,
million. Ram when they pass 200K. Now big ram be 200K. Oh. You go see ram for 50K.
cow is 2.5 million. Are you kidding? Kene?
You think
Woo,
ram 1 million? Oh my. How much you
that's
think
true.
cow go be?
That's true. Oh my
Ram
God.
was a million this salad.
Can you imagine?
Ram was a million. Nigeria is going to a dilapidated state, honestly speaking.
Nigeria is already, we're already
When I
very
was when I was in Nigeria in February, oh
mm,
my, so you know you cannot buy bread. You cannot keep bread in the house. Now you have to be buy. If you want to eat bread, that's when you go and buy.
uh-huh.
So in our house, like we have a store not far from our house. Everything is in the house, but we go and buy the bread. So the day I went now, I said go and buy bread. They went and bought bread 1,000. The next day they say bread is 1,2. The third day bread was 1,3. I'm just this is a real life story in February. The
Huh?
fourth day bread was 1,4. The fifth day bread was 1,5.
Oh
The
my
sixth
God.
day, I am not making this up. This happened to me personally. First, I thought my nephew was lying because my nephew likes to dey keep change. I said, yeah, I hope say no they play with me. He said, Auntie, why I go play with you now? Now my
Eh?
brother say, he said, Mommy, that's how it is. I say, eh? You say, waiting. Every day the price was increasing. For the 2 weeks I was in Nigeria, there was no day that we bought bread the same price today and tomorrow. There was no day.
Hmm.
There was no day. And that's in Nigeria that I was within the span of 1.5 weeks. I bought sugar. Within the span of sugar went from 2,100 to 3,000 naira per
Oh
measure
my God.
of sugar within a week and a half. Rice wey we dey buy back of rice 20 something K. Back of rice 80 something K now.
Mm-hmm.
That tomato wey reach 145K this weekend, I ain't touch my head. Yeah, my tomato girl say aunty tomato na 145,000 basket. Rubber paint 17,000. I say you say?
My goodness. See,
Yeah,
I'm a cow. 2.5 million. Lord have mercy. May
yeah,
I bring this video on you?
yeah.
Yeah?
I'm not
It's real
surprised.
though.
If Ram reach 1 million, e go reach. I go tell my mama make
Lord.
she go sell our goat. Maybe we go get small money.
You see
This one,
this one is 1,500,000.
1,500,000.
And look at this one.
This one standing here,
This one is 2,500,000.
2 million.
2,500,000.
Please,
Yes. Look
two,
at it. Two
2
million
million
five
500.
hundred thousand.
This kind of animal is from which state or
This
from
one
which
is from
country?
Sokoto State. It's Bokolo.
Sokoto State.
Yes, Bokolo.
Wow,
It comes from Sokoto
wow,
State.
wow. What of this
The
ones
root
also?
of the same thing.
The same
Alhamdulillah.
thing.
All Bokolo.
Sokoto.
Bokolo.
Damn. What year? How much is this kind of animal last?
This year, last year, this one is not up to 800 to 900.
March 700 last year.
I'm telling you,
700.
when you buy 800, 900,000 cow last year, you will be proud that you buy a big cow. But now you can buy
Can just imagine
3,000.
last
Imagine,
year
look at it.
700, 800. This year 2.5 million.
I'm
Where are we
telling you.
going?
ẹ̀rọ yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀gá mi ṣe sọ ẹ̀rọ yìí 700
You see this one.
Yeah, this one.
This one is 1,500,000.
Hey! Oluwa o. Wow.
God no go shame us.
That's St. Louis sugar now. That one is a cube. Now be St. Louis sugar now. Hey God, I beg. God, in this one, we are already shamed ourselves. When we come on God.
Yeah.
God no get hand for this one.
You
He
think
don't
I've
want
already
his
seen
hand from us.
myself.
You know, we don't shame ourselves now. Nigeria is
Yeah.
sinking. It's
You
under the
think it
ocean.
has sunk go.
Sinking.
My
It
sister,
has
this one a Titanic ship, it don't sink.
e don sink, e don reach bottom of the ocean. Meanwhile, the
Yeah.
people that are running it, they are all olodos. They have no clue what to do. They just came to
They'll
take
just be focusing on irrelevant things.
they just came to enrich themselves. That's it. Wealth is
Someone
capital.
was telling us that they had an event that the first lady was invited and some girls came, she chased them away because of how they dressed. She said this is not Met Gala. Somebody now responded in the comment section. You're there worrying about how some people are dressed while they are raping some girls and killing some of them. You've not
Telling
said
you,
anything. You are here fighting about clothes that people are wearing. And you know her. Anywhere she is, she wants to be the center of attraction. That's one thing about her.
really?
Yes, yes. No, she doesn't like anything that women will do to outshine her. She just hijack it. There's
Are
a
you
project
serious?
that, no joke. So there's a project that one of my friends brought me on, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly for accomplished women that they want to like shed lights on different areas and how to
Mm-hmm.
encourage young girls. So one of my friend part of the organizer, so she brought me on board. She was like, I want you to be part of this, blah blah blah. I said, okay, no problem. In the whole conversation that we have had, I have not, and I repeat, I have not heard anything that has to do with First Lady until, okay, I know with I think it was the FCT minister or somebody that they've spoken to that she was involved in the thing, right? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, magazine come. First Lady chop like 5 pages of magazine. I
Yeah.
call my friend, I said, Biao, where's this thing coming from? She said, say it was Madam so and so. That's the person that like invented the whole thing. And she was the one that was doing it. So she went for an event. Somebody introduced her the first lady, and she told the first lady what they were doing. And first lady was going to get her on board. And before you know it, Madam, I'm like, she was like, oh, that's this how she is. She likes this, like she does not want any woman to do anything that will outshine her. Yeah, she feels like they're in competition with her. Yeah,
My goodness.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what kind of mother is that? If you have a child and your child is doing something amazing, if you want to tell me that you cannot allow your child to shine because they are going to shine more than you, what's your pride as a mother? Just explain to me what your pride is as a mother. Isn't it a thing of pride for her to see Nigerians doing big things? She start by the sideline and cheering them up and be like, these are my people doing great things. No, she has to be involved.
She wants to be the center. Are you sure she's not the one
Oh
running
yeah.
Nigeria?
Before, who they run am?
Now she they run that thing. No, not be that man.
You,
That
you,
man can't
you've
do
not, haven't you heard that she's been going on executive meetings with him sometimes too?
that. I remember a while back when they
Uh,
just entered. That's true.
mhm. So if now she stop going because people are talking, she go see the run show for back now. How many things Baba they remember? She will see the run show for back.
I be her daughter when they pose naked. Exactly. She they call people out, say how they feel they dress. The one when they walk, they strut her stuff for runway naked.
You,
She
you
never
know, see that
hold
kind of, they know they see their own.
uh-uh.
And that
Now other
person own
people
they
own
see
them.
now. You never get those kind of aunties for Nigeria where they go tell you some things where they
They,
do wrong, where their children they do pro max.
like I'm telling na today. I don't see where aunties then they go they point finger to you. They don't know say their own children are worse pass.
Yes, now one of my aunties say our children they innocent. You know, say when we go and get my cousin, now those ones bad pass. Just they look at with side eye. You, sheesh.
God, oh, I don't know. This Nigeria, every corner of it, this man is ready to. See as they laugh Nigerians when they talk about minimum wage. He and Akpabi, I can never forget. That one I can never forget.
They were
Li-
laughing.
Yeah, they were laughing. They were talking about the minimum wage, and Bola Tinubu just burst into laughter. He said they are asking for, well, we will give them what we have in a very, condescending scorn, like laughing in your face, like,
Let
God
me tell you what's funny.
bless.
These people feel like whatever they are stealing from the government, they're trying to secure future generations, like their future generations are covered. See, posterity cannot forget. Do you understand what I'm
I
saying?
mean, when I dey here, I can't forget. You know how many people carry them
So,
for
so no matter how much that they take, as long as they carry that name, do you understand? And also they are carrying money that is cursed because
mm,
this money is supposed to be for the
Everybody.
betterment of the people, and you took it to yourself, that money is cost already.
Exactly.
All the money where about I take where they same family they enjoy am.
Now, other people they enjoy it now.
Thank
Every
you.
time they will tell us say we don't recover money.
Thank you. So
Abacha,
that
they will come relook am
yeah,
again.
yeah. And then in the future, his grandchildren and great grandchildren can't do anything because people will use that on them. And the papa spoil this country for us. Shift here. Will he be there to fight for them? He won't be there to fight for them. He won't be there to fight for them. A lot of us have lived on the benevolence of a lot of our family, like great grandfathers,
Mm-hmm.
uncles that have done good things. And there's some people that can't enjoy that. Why? Because theirs did not sow any seed. They were just eating. They ate and they ate their seed. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a curse. It's really a curse. If they think they are doing good for their children and future generation, they're deceiving themselves. It will come back and bite them. It will
Hi.
come back and bite them.
I can't wait though. I can't, to be honest with you. I can't wait.
Kaduna, like Abuja to Kaduna, that usually takes 2 hours. It took almost 4 hours to get there
Mm.
because the road was not good.
Hi.
4 hours. Less than 2 hours sef from Abuja, you don't reach Kaduna. Less than 2 hours. If you're driving fast. But road no good. How you want to take drive fast? You want to end yourself?
Hmm. Look at listen. When we listen to this woman.
When we
Nigeria,
went, oh, go ahead.
very
Yeah, as soon once we're done, we'll continue.
important
Sure.
country. 110 million people strong. Powerful land, variety in climate. Nigeria has everything to win as a black country. When Nigeria was becoming, and the crackers really didn't want to give Nigeria up. They did not, because Nigeria was too much wealth, too much of everything. And it had it and a very dynamic personality, the people of Nigeria. Well, when you read the Constitution of Nigeria, you can hardly tell this is a black nation. But furthermore, the accompanying agreements, Nigerians agreed to live in the hands of England, the educational system, the justice system, the finance system, and the resources. So here we are independent. Here's how it went in Nigeria. We're independent. Hooray! Independence! Wonderful. But England will determine what you do as far as education is concerned, will determine how money is spent and for what, will determine how resources are used, and will determine justice. Is that independence?
Wow.
Wait, what did she say? What the last part? I missed the last part.
She said, is that independence?
It's not.
It's not. The British,
It's
the
not.
judiciary, the justice system, the financial system, the education, heck, all our systems is aligned with the British system.
Omo, do you know that every time that we have the United Nations General Assembly, do you know that we have it on record that Nigeria has the highest number of delegates?
Wow.
Coming to do what exactly? Just explain to me. What are they coming to do?
Good.
Some of them, I did my internship at the UN 2011,
Oh,
2012.
I didn't know that though.
Yeah,
Wow.
with the Nigerian mission to the UN. So I was there, like, I saw things. Let me speak like Kunle Remi. I saw things. Oh my,
Wow.
I saw things.
Are you
These people
serious?
will come in entourage and not do anything. Some of them will not even go for meeting, they are going for shopping.
Hi.
And then you see other countries coming and running up and down. I have meeting here, I have meeting there. I want to no, no. Some of these men are see, let me tell you, Nigerian girls in other states, they come to New York during General Assembly to come and hang around with big men and do a shower work and collect money and go. Some of these big men ahead, they will say, arrange girl. I'm not joking. If you come during General Assembly time in New York, you just be hearing pigeon up and down. Girls are showing up because the
Wow.
guys with the money are coming. Yes. So what you're coming for, you're not even doing it. That's to show you how backward we've taken ourselves. You have collected money to come and do something on behalf of the country, to fight for them, work on their for their interests. No. When you reach here, you touch ground, you are doing a different thing. Omo, when God started the flog, some of our leaders no go feel enter hellfire. By the time they throw them, because their sins too plenty, they feel go past hellfire, go fall from one side. We will not even know. That's the amount and the gravity of their offense and the atrocities that they've committed. I'm telling you.
These people, do they care? These
The
people
secondary
don't
school I
care.
went to, they say Erufai is renovating this. Erufai spent over 1 billion naira to renovate the school. Oh my, renovate school finish. There are no students in the school. Tell me the essence of the renovation.
Hi.
School that used to have over 5,000 pupils because we have from nursery to SS3.
Mm-hmm.
That was the school that I went to from primary 1 to SS3. It doesn't have more than 50 pupils. For what? Just help me and explain. I beg.
How?
Over 1 billion naira. And then his child has the audacity to come out and be insulting the present governor because the guy is probing his father.
Yeah.
You see that small midget will resemble chewing stick.
Little finger, na me they call am o. Little finger. That guy is a little finger, man. I'm telling you, that guy, the amount of money when they borrow, I dey wonder.
Ah,
How can somebody
God.
sit down and borrow this amount of money in a state where
How do
people
they
are?
even sleep at night?
How do they sleep at night? How? I can't dey wonder. I say, these people just throw people into unnecessary. Ah, God, I beg o. I
Don't
never
they
see
even
that.
think about, instead of parking this money and securing it for my children and my children's children, what if I invest in this state and my children's children come tomorrow and enjoy safety, peace of mind just because their grandfather was once a governor? How about that? Do
They
you
don't think
understand?
about it o. They don't think about it. They don't care. They don't care. Na your own you dey talk o. They don't think about it. Cha. They no care. They are not interested. Mm, these people. They are something else. All they care about, right, is how to make sure they wreck Nigeria completely. Completely wreck that
And you
country.
know the slogan that they use, other people don't come chop their own now at all.
Exactly. That's the mindset. They will borrow money, right? After they borrow the money, they will now share it among themselves. The amount of debt that is waiting for the future Nigerians is not here. The
My own
amount,
point is even the joy that they derive in borrowing that money.
hmm,
The joy.
hey, they don't care. They just all they care about is their pockets. Wetin dey inside their pocket. Now that one they call about. Now that one, that's what they don't care about. Whatever it is you're saying, you no concern them. If they enter one ear, they come up for another ear. They don't care. They are not interested. Hmm? How can you? All they care about is borrowing and borrowing, and they go borrow, they will share it amongst themselves. They will borrow and they will share it amongst themselves. That's all they're doing. Now they're pushing jet, buy private jet for president. Where is
To
he
do
going?
what?
To do what?
To do what?
Where is he going? Where they go when they need jet? Eh? Where they go? I mean, well, the airspace is not
Buying
safe.
jet and yacht.
Eh, airspace is not safe. You shall listen to David Design that day. No, airspace not safe. And aircraft just they enter our airspace. They know sometimes they don't even know which aircraft because the hungry people when they dey for the control room, hey, maybe they come. Ah, God. Ah, a lot of
Kenneth
unnecessary.
said they suppose jail IMF. I agree with Kenneth. Because see, IMF really check credit score. Ni.
My sister,
Nigeria
even
credit score
ordinary
good like
personal
that.
credit, they know they give you if your credit not good. I asked that question. Eh? I don't know. It's really Nigeria, eh? I don't know. But for me, this is me. We have to keep talking because we can't give up. That's what they are banking on. That we should give up so that they can do whatever it is they want to do. Me, I know they give up. that country, there's a reason why I'm a Nigerian. So me, I will continue to talk. My ancestral home is not for strangers. It's not for strangers. We must secure that place. We must secure our communities.
We
Eh?
have to because we're gonna take our children go back.
Exactly. We have to secure it. If they say if outside not safe, now house person dey wrong go. If tomorrow
Benny.
now Kasala boss say okay oh, they say we don't want you anymore, we don't need you people. Where you go wrong? Go not be Nigeria.
Yep.
Not be everybody go wrong, go different part. In fact, you go other part of the country, you don't know the hate when they carry for their mind against you. See wetin that they do Nigerians for Ghana. See wetin that they do Nigerians for South Africa. Look at what
South
they do.
Africa own was self.
9 months. South Africa, when we borrow money, when people when they dey civil when they be civil servants, they sacrifice their salary. South Africa no care. They want Nigerians out of that country. Eh? Now
And
South
Nigerians
Africa,
be like say dem swear dem bury their umbilical cord for there, they no one leave.
I'm telling you, they're telling people to leave before they finish una. They are very upset. I dey listen to one man interview one South African. If you see the way they talk, if you na Nigerian own, na im pain am pass. He talk about Zimbabwe, he talk about other people, other African countries when they come South Africa. He said that they take all their South African jobs. Now I say, excuse me, oh, how person go come they take your job? Is it not the people that are giving those people jobs that you go and meet? They and this Oyibo people when in South Africa, they do them intentionally to and now they cause this. They go instead when they go hire, they're not going to hire South Africa, they go rather hire maybe a Nigerian or Zimbabwean to pepper the South Africans. I'm telling you. That's what they are
Can
doing.
you
So I
imagine?
wonder why they don't see that, but they'll come now the immigrants that they attack. They're saying that Nigerians are this, Nigerians are that. Nothing when they don't talk about Nigerians. Now see, make these people go back home. It's not a must. India, now so they say you know how many Nigerians they in prison for India? The ones when we don't know.
Can you
The
imagine?
ones when we say
India
they
of all places.
suffer. No talk of Middle East. No talk of Dubai, UAE as generally. Suffering in every country. There's no way that's safe for a Nigerian. Only your country that is safe for you.
Yeah.
You cannot run, no matter how far you think you want to run, you can't run far. They will still find a way to locate you. Nigerians are loud. It's very easy to figure them out. Eh? Everybody has a role to play to make sure that Nigeria is standing. Because if that country fall,
Yeah.
we are in soup, oh. We are in real soup. And this government does not care. If they tell them say sell everybody there, let's pay
They'll
you,
sell.
they go sell because it's all
They go
about
first carry their family go abroad, then they go sell am.
exactly. But they don't know say those their family go also become slaves after they don't die.
That's why
That's what
it's a cycle.
you know we even wait. They're not even wait make they unalive them first. For their presence, after they don't sell their country, their children will come become the next day. They go strip them of all that wealth when they say they get, they go first seize all those properties. They go strip them of everything, turn them to slaves. They don't know. They think say na person that they do. They borrow from ECOWAS. I didn't know that. Wow. They borrow from ECOWAS. ECOWAS na servant to wetin they call am European Union. All the African organizations na servants dem be to European Union. Na European Union dey tell dem wetin to do. It's a shame.
And na because Nigeria dey kiss their house because they want to get money.
That's it now. E no pass like that. Kene, you say South Africa mess up. Oyibo, yes, absolutely. Na so dem want am now. There's even an instance. There was a lady, they call her, whether na Nara Smith be her name. And another lady, she's from South Africa. What's this lady's name? Oh, make I see. May I pull am up? May I say that I fit show the video. And that Nara Smith, people were following her like, oh my God, she dey cook everything from scratch, make cornflakes from scratch, this one from scratch, that one from scratch. Na this the person name na Onezua. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Abemuna no vex. Mbola, na South African. This girl
Okay.
likes to cook, right? She grows her garden at the back of her
Mm-hmm.
house. She cooks everything fresh from scratch. It reminds me of when I grew up, growing up on the farm. This is exactly what you cook everything from scratch, right? And she has a soothing voice over when she's doing her videos. Not knowing
Mm-hmm.
that this other Naira Smith girl come dey collect her content, come go dey do am. E go come do am, e go come redo am. Because say the girl, this other Naira Smith na like model, na here she dey, so she dey pay her. She come dey collect,
Right.
thief this girl, dey thief im content, dey thief am. Na dey come go be like, come say, so this girl come start to dey complain after a while, say e don dey happen for a long time, but she don tire because some recent things wey she go do, she go see say the girl, this Naira Smith sef go, make I call her NS, right? Make I call Naira Smith NS, then I'll call this
Mm-hmm.
girl OM, right? NS
Mm-hmm.
go come go do the cooking show, e go come throw in her own, you understand, like do am in a way, e go be like say nothing.
Now
Na
she make her.
exactly. Na im the her fellow South Africans come dey drag this South African girl, black girl. Dey come dey drag her, say who she be, who she think say she be, whether she know who NS be. Na big girl. This one, NS na half South African, half Oyibo, wey na German be her papa also, right? That South Africans go dey abuse am and all of that. Dey come nothing wey dem no tell dis girl. The girl come say e no care wetin dem think, e don tire to dey see person dey steal im hard work. E say for South Africa dem no dey pay dem, dem no dey pay con ten t creators, dem no dey pay dem. So all dis one say she dey lucky if dem call am once, maybe to come do one show or the other, once a week or once in 2 weeks or something like that, to come and do a show. Dis girl go every time go dey thief im con ten t, dey thief im con ten t. When it's con ten t, she come dey talk, all her South Africans dey come dey drag dis girl. Dey say who she be, local girl like her, who know her, dis one dat one. So other African Americans come see am, dem come start to dey talk on behalf of Onezua. Na one African American girl wey I dey follow, na her video I even take see am. I come say wetin dey happen? Now I come go check the story, the link. They were coming after this South African girl. Meanwhile, this NS, they come dey praise am. They come dey say maybe this Onezewa dey jealous the girl. Because wetin you go dey jealous am for, right? Meanwhile, make dem come go ask this NS, say come how far? What happened? NS say e no know the girl. They now went to dig and found out that she apparently had commented on the girl's video a long time ago and had told her that she liked her content. It was crazy. Now I say, this skin color, wetin e go cause for Africa? This worshiping of skin color, say person funfun nene, I no know. For South Africa own another
Just
level.
because that one light skin, Abby.
Exactly, because na half German, half na so they take this. So now other African American girls come see, if you watch, even though some Oyibo Americans come join, they say if you watch this Onezewa videos, very authentic. You understand? You know, when person just they do in thing,
Right.
you can
Because it has stopped. That's her content.
exactly. The other girl, right? You will know say e no dey authentic. There was something people come dey talk say they fit know say the girl no dey authentic because the way e take dey do, the way e take dey talk, you come as the whole now say this kind thing dey happen since. I'm telling you,
That's
it's
sad.
crazy. If Africa hating on an African, because one na light, e get a German papa and a big star, and e dey wear designer. Na so it's sad though. It's sad. One lady now made a. Let me see if I can play the video here so you guys can hear it, because it really, for me, when I watched it, I was hurt. I was hurt like it was me that it happened to. I was so hurt. I was like, this is so sad. Let me play on Zewa's video for you guys.
Which simply translates to you're not money, not everyone is going to like you. And so likability has never been something I yearned for. If I wanted to be liked, I would have been less outspoken about the things I believe in. I would have kept my opinions to myself, held my tongue, and chosen neutrality in my political beliefs, all in order to be liked and more palatable. And even then, someone would have hated the way I fold my knife or that my wooden spoons are stained, because you never win the likability politics. I may be all these things, but I'm not a liar. And fortunately, your feelings about me do not alter the truth. I do not mince my words. If I said it, trust me, I will stand by it. Norrisbeth was making kale salads with lemon juice and olive oil before she started stealing content ideas from small content creators. Now, I know she's not slow, and she intentionally misconstrued what I said with the comment about not being the first to make over because she knew you would run with it and gallop you did to come and tell me I'm not the first to do it.
You know what? I have to share the video and play it for you guys. It's not enough for me to I really want you guys to see. I have to go back to the source of the video that I had seen that brought me to it because that video, I won't lie to you guys, it touched me. I felt so hurt by what they did to this girl. It's so unnecessary. As I don't understand. This whole colorism thing is sick. It is so sick. Eh? It is sick, oh. It's not normal. It is not normal at all. Eh? How can somebody's hard work, you just carry on like that? You won't do the thing. You don't even can't do am. You don't even they give the girl credit, which you even get something. Eh? It pain me, I no go lie. Oh. I take am personal. I really did. I'm like, you can't do that to people for crying out loud. Eh? How they say they go recent view? I don't forget. Oh, I want recent view. Let me see how they say they go recent. Hi, oh yeah, oh. Recently, recently what video? That's what I
When you was watching the video was
Nah,
going
sorry,
good,
Mona,
and all
no.
of a sudden the page refreshed by itself, and now when you go back, it's gone, and you don't know where to find it. Well, I'm gonna show you how. Let's go.
Okay.
First, click the hamburger menu, go to setting and privacy, and now you're gonna scroll down. You will see comment and watch history.
Okay. Make I go. Settings. You scroll down. Hmm, Let me see. Privacy. Let me watch history. They don't move this thing. Oh. These people are joking, right? Damn. I wanted to because I wanted to play that one when let me see. Watch history. Boom. Got it. Where is it? I wanted to watch. I want to play the video that I saw. I hope it's here. Please be here. Please be here. I want to play the video that led me to it because the person that talked about that video had something very powerful to share. You know, it was so I don't know. I don't know why I felt so pained about it. Like, why would you do that? Eh? Somebody, whatever they are doing it because they like it. And you just carry the video, you can't go they remake am. You know even they give the girl credit. Now that one ain't pay me pass. You just do am, you don't give the girl credit.
Now there you go. No, say some people no get conscious. Some people no they fear God.
Telling you. And you know, say these
They
people
don't.
for their country, they know they pay them. I don't know that thing pay. If I tell you I vex, I call it vex on behalf of this girl. You know when we dey house that time, maybe they'll come find your sister trouble, right? You'll find your sister trouble. Oh, vex. You say you wear khaki. You'll say I dey go follow. I don't see the video. I won't share am with you now. Then you get another one I want show too. I was so pained. E be like make I wear khaki go follow this sis wey girl go fight. I said, what the hell? Who you be?
I have watched.
How you go do this kind of thing to another person? Who you to say you be? Who you be? I was mad. I was saying people wicked though. Person sweat to sit down do content. E easy. E no easy. Run am na if e easy.
Abi?
Person content, you no even fear, you no think, you no bother you say, no, this girl, I don't want to, I no want, get another one when I wan share. Na this one na one oyibo woman talk put. That one too vex as me sef take dey vex. I come say correct. The versing is equalizing. I dey like this kind of versing.
I don't really know what to think.
Okay.
Another edition if you think you're looking at a super smart, loving, caring.
There we go. So people need to be careful. You can't just steal people's content, right? And assume that, oh, you're going to get away with it. It's wrong. At least give the person the credit. Do you understand? Give the person credit. Say, okay, oh, I give you credit for the work that you did. You know, for your carry, your chief person, this thing. You know, even, I don't know. Some people get mind, though. Yeah, they get mind. I no go lie. Some people have the mind. Okay, let me see if I can show it this way. Select. Sorry, guys. I know so na the. Let's see. Which one did not
Oh,
show?
una go excuse me. I dey go town tomorrow. Ma go catch small sleep.
Abeg, go sleep, my sister. You don try. I
All
appreciate you.
right. Good night.
Bye.
Nice catching up with you. All
Same
right.
here. Take care. Bye. Sleep tight. All right, guys. I'm about to share it. Oh, una no vex. Let me see. Um. mm, mm, mm. Now welcome. Oh, happy Father's Day, oh, to all the fathers in the house. Una well done, oh. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Um.
Did you hear the story about how
Okay.
Nora
Oh man, will I be able to share this? Okay, I don't think I'll be able to share it. I'm just going to play it for you guys. I'm going to play the start of the video. Okay, what really triggered it all? Well, the one I saw. So I'm just going to play it for you guys. I don't know what's going on.
How Nora Smith is being accused of stealing content ideas from a smaller creator. This is the inspiration for Nora Smith's content. Oneswa is a creator out of South Africa who makes home fresh meals that she sources from her own farm. And she has a beautiful aesthetic, a beautiful voice, and a nice, calm, relaxing demeanor, just like Nora Smith. Well, two creators with similar content can exist in this world, but the problem came when Oneswa claimed that she was no longer making content because Nora Smith continues to copy her content ideas. Of course, the backlash was swift against Oneswa because everybody's a Nora Smith fan. Could Nora Smith be the type of person who would steal another creator's content ideas? Most people don't believe that. But this creator had a perspective that might make you change your mind.
I see the conversation that's being had on social media, and I'm really disappointed because the points that people that are in defense of Nora Smith are saying, oh, Naswa's a nobody. Oh, Naswa does not have the following that Nora Smith has. Oh, Naswa is ugly. Oh, Naswa, why would Nora Smith ever steal from Oh, Naswa? Who do you think you are? Basically saying that Oh, Naswa's a nobody and that Nora Smith would never do something like that, which is crazy to me. Because have you guys never picked up a fucking history book? This is what people do who have affluence, but don't have the skill or the innovation or the wherewithal to sit and come up with ideas on their own. They steal from others. I think because Nora Smith
Smith be that unimaginative that she can't come up with her own content ideas? Well, Nora Smith says she doesn't even know this creator. The internet came up with receipts that show otherwise. In this comment, Nara wrote, I've never seen her videos, nor do I follow her. I'm not the first or last person to make boba. But someone found a comment she wrote before that said, I'm so sorry you have to deal with these comments. Your content is so inspiring. Nara Smith wrote that to Oneswa. Most entertainers put on a facade. There's nothing new to the creative world. But this isn't the first time that Nora Smith has been caught in a lie. When Nora and her husband shared their How We Met story on YouTube, she was pretending to be something she's not, and her husband called her out.
When I heard her voice, I was like, wow.
Yeah, because I never heard your voice before. Maybe I have.
No, you have. Oh, she has. She started.
No, I didn't.
She's scoured the internet for videos of me trust.
Okay, but that sounds really creepy. I just needed
That's what it is, what it is.
Regardless of the drama, nobody's going to stop watching Nora Smith because she's a vibe that we all need from time to time. But consider the source. Miss Oneswa is a vibe that inspired the vibe that we all love.
Sorry, 1 second.
To hear the story about how
1
Nora
second.
Smith
I
is
have
being
to.
accused of stealing content ideas from a smaller creator, this is...
Okay, let me see right here. No.
the inspiration.
Okay. All right, let me play the other one. This other lady.
I don't really know what to think. Another edition if you think you're looking at a super smart, loving, caring influencer. But really, it's Nora Smith, who has one of the biggest platforms right now on TikTok and doesn't believe in talking about Palestine, despite the fact that she is South African. 7.6 million people! My God! Self-promotion. That's all that she cares about. But is it self-promotion? I don't think so. Lots of people on this app are talking about the fact that Nara Smith has been stealing content from another Black woman in South Africa, Aneswa. And can I just say, I've made a video about Nara Smith before, in the fact that she's Mormon, and the whole trad wife shtick doesn't feel authentic to me from her. And not only that, the whole Mormon religion is basically built to exploit women. We all know that. And she's just kind of glamorizing it, and it doesn't feel great to me. Whereas her content feels very authentic, incredibly authentic. Like, this all makes sense all of a sudden. Now, don't even get me started on this couple, because I've been covering this couple from the very beginning of my page. This is her husband, Lucky, and his ex, Stormy, who started dating when she was 25 and he was 17. Yeah, and this is the kind of behavior that seems even more acceptable in the Mormon religion. And as someone that has grew up Mormon, fuck that shit. It's not just the fact that her content has always seemed inauthentic to me. It's not just the fact that she doesn't want to champion Palestine or any genocide of any kind, or stand on business in any way on her page. It's also the fact that she shows her kids' faces all the time on her app. And let me tell you, we all know what happens to kids on the internet. Well, we will keep doing the work because the most platformed people on this app are not.
Okay, let me play Oneswa's video.
For months now, I have watched a very, very popular content creator use my ideas. And again, I'm not the first person to do anything. They have continuously used my ideas to get views. Now, that would be fine, except in South Africa, we don't get paid for views. And where she is, they get paid for views. So she has been making money off stealing my content. Who has managed to change the videos just enough so that I cannot say that they are my ideas. And when I took a break from content creation recently, she then went and moved on to my YouTube and started using ideas from my YouTube. So I have kept quiet for months at a time, venting to my boyfriend and to my friends, and they've all told me, just let it go because you are going to be dragged by her mob of followers and you'll get cancelled. And so I've kept quiet. And recently, I made a boba tea. We all saw it. We all loved it. And I was so very, 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 very proud of that video. I tweeted about it. I was so excited for it. And then a day later, she made a boba video. And you might say it may be a coincidence. That would be fine if it was a coincidence, except it's a coincidence that happens very often. So is it really a coincidence? I am very disheartened. I am very disheartened because she's making thousands of dollars in views, and I am lucky to get a brand collaboration every 3 months.
Okay, next video.
I'd love to say our source of time, which simply translates to you're not money, not everyone is going to like you. And so likability has never been something I yearned for. If I wanted to be liked, I would have been less outspoken about the things I believe in. I would have kept my opinions to myself, held my tongue, and chosen neutrality in my political beliefs, all in order to be liked and more palatable. And even then, someone would have hated the way I hold my life, or that my videos are disgusting, because you never win a likability politics. Maybe all these things, but I'm not a liar. And unfortunately, your feelings about me do not alter the truth. I do not mince my words. If I said it, trust me, I will stand by it. Nara Smith was making kale salads, lemon juice, and olive oil before she started stealing content ideas from small content creators. Now, I know she's on slow, and she intentionally misconstrued what I said with the comment about not being enough for us to make more, but because she knew you would run with it and gallop you did to come and tell me I'm not the first to do anything after I said that 7 million times in that same video. I understand that some of you may be victims of India's education system, and some of you were the children who were actually left behind. So listening to understand might be a challenge. I can sympathize with that. Pattern and recipe may sound the same. Nara, it is very apparent that you're not the first person to make boba, because I think the first person who made boba tea to drink through a straw made sure that the boba could actually fit through the straw. You don't need to tell us that. And for you all asking if I credit everybody, if you find a pattern of me stealing ideas, feel free to call me out, because I know very well I have a great track record of mentioning people who inspire my cooking, and I do use my little platform to bring attention to other creators who I feel deserve to have their talents celebrated. Over the past 2 days, I've taken the time to remind myself why it was that I started creating content. I wanted to document my journey of recreating meals my mother cooked for me. It was a hobby, an outlet, and that is the reason I was so reluctant to monetize it. I wasn't collaborating with brands, I wasn't tagging or reaching out to them because I knew if I did, I would lose all the joy I found in this. I'm disappointed in myself that I lost sight of why I started this and that I thought someone could take it away from me. So, 2 things are going to happen. 1, I'm going to keep creating the reviews of these meals you've all told me look unappetizing and you do them in your sleep. And 2, Nara Smith is going to stop stealing content ideas. A win-win. And to the South Africans who continuously undermined and disrespected me throughout this whole thing, your classism hasn't gone unnoticed. I hope my videos remind you that
Sorry.
to say source of time, okay, which simply translates to you're not money, not everyone is going to like you. And so likability has never been something I yearned for. If I wanted to be liked, I would have been less outspoken about the things I believe in. I would have kept my opinions to myself, held my tongue, and chosen.
I'm sorry, guys. I think I chose the wrong. What is this? Oh man, I'm so sorry, guys.
I'd love to say, are you Mali? For platform. You don't need to create a track record of mentioning people who inspire my cooking. And I do use my little platform to bring attention to other creators who I feel deserve to have their talents celebrated. Over the past 2 days, I've taken the time to remind myself why it was that I started creating content. I wanted to document my journey of recreating meals my mother cooked for me. It was a hobby, an outlet, and that is the reason I was so reluctant to monetize it. I wasn't collaborating with brands, I wasn't tagging or reaching out to them because I knew if I did, I would lose all the joy I found in this. I'm disappointed in myself that I lost sight of why I started this and that I thought someone could take it away from me. So, 2 things are going to happen. 1, I'm going to keep creating the videos of these meals you've all told me look unappetizing and you do them in your sleep. And 2, Nara Smith is going to stop stealing content ideas. A win-win. And to the South Africans who have continuously undermined and disrespected me throughout this whole thing, your classism hasn't gone unnoticed. I hope my videos remind you that your reality is closer to mine than it is to this American dream you're gallantly fighting for. My aunt loves to say,
Okay, so on to the next, the one that's
Literally on Friday night, I made a video saying I'm done with the black mind because it is hopeless. It is a lost cause. And this Onezwa, Nara Smith situation is the epitome of that. You guys worship whiteness to no end. Hey, I was shocked by how many Black South African young women are standing with Nara. I'm not saying they should have been against Nara or whatever, but to comments, I stand with Nara consecutively just shows what he. Mina, I read that. I saw it for what it was. I stand with whiteness. Because that's how you've been trained in South Africa, this highly classist country. You've been trained to put white people on a pedestal, to put capitalism on a pedestal, and to pursue towards wide proximity as far as feasibly possible. You know, and so it's hard for you to get that romantic proximity to whiteness. So Manbonara, oh my God, lo and behold, you found out she's partly South African, although she's never really claimed South Africa like that. But then you found out Usman Maki is from Bloom. You're like, oh, wow, now I'm going to vicariously live through her and have that white boyfriend I've always wanted. Because you understand very well that you cannot transform this skin and turn it into this skin. So you think the next best thing that you can do is marry into it and have multiracial babies. So that's why I mean pedestalizer. And then the capitalist aspect. I saw someone saying, "Does Onozwa cook in Chanel?" Oh, guys, that's naive. I don't think you guys understand that those brands don't want you. When black girl who's ride or die for Nara Smith, they don't care for you. You are not their target demographic. If they could say niggers can't buy my bag, they would say it. That's why they make it so overpriced, because they don't want you to afford it. They want to price it out of the range for you. Yet you guys still worship those same designers. They are literally anti-poor. They don't want poor people. And I feel like sometimes South Africans forget, which a lot of us are poor. You guys really live in this illusion, honestly. Like the average South African young mind. It seems like, especially South African girls, you live in this fairy tale Rainbow Nation, all is kumbaya dream where you don't realize that you have been programmed against yourself. And that's why you think Onezwa is a random girl milking a goat. Because you have not learned to appreciate yourself. I saw another comment saying, if Onezwa is so amazing, why doesn't she have brand deals lining up for her? Again, you guys want to be validated by capitalism. And once we are inside and validate yourself as human beings. And I want to tell you, that capitalism will never validate you. All it would ever do to you is exploit you. But you can't see that. Maybe it's kids, maybe it's children who are making those comments. Maybe I shouldn't be so like annoyed by just the lack of self-consciousness, of self-awareness, of black consciousness. Because really, you know, honestly, you're not standing by her because she's not aesthetically pleasing. Aesthetic. Her authenticity is lost on you. The fact that she, Onezwa, stands in front of us and she tells us she doesn't have any bills to pay. Do you, and that's why I'm come and understand the freedom that comes with never having bills to pay. Rather, you will pedestalize and worship someone who's wearing, I don't know, 100,000 rand outfits, because again, you worship capitalism. And then, again, I really hope, Usi, maybe you're just kids. One day you will learn capitalism is not your friend. Whiteness is not your friend. You chopping at the bits to participate, throwing your own under the bus. You do not know how to present a united front. And what unite? Because all of you are trying to climb your way into whiteness. And that's why, and maybe it's because you haven't left the country. You know, if you leave the country, you'll realize how disrespected black people are. And you manje selivotelithi nizofunda ke. Abantu abamnyama abahlonishwa in the world because abazihloniphi. Your inability, even if, let's say, Valley, when in your analysis you disagree no Onezo, sometimes pretend. Sometimes, for the onlooker, stand with your own nizailungisa behind closed doors. White people have mastered this. Maranina, because you are chopping at the bits to have access, proximity to whiteness. You will always be divided. You will always throw your own under the bus for any chance to stand close to whiteness. You will always do that. And that's why, personally, ngiyabona ukuthi this mind from the average black person is a lost cause. And abelungu will continue to abuse us because of the wasting our corner. What you're doing to Onezwa in favor of that is the reason why we will continue to be abused and disrespected in this world. And first, you don't come with the I don't see race bullshit. You're the only one who doesn't see race. Every other race sees race and stands with their own. Wekpela, who's born into this nonsense of multiracialism. Literally on Friday.
That's it, oh. Content wahala. Somebody, but that's Lady NS Naira Smith, whatever her name is, she shouldn't do that. You know, she has 7.6 followers or so. That was not that was done in very poor taste. She could have highlighted that small content. She's not even a small content creator. I hear people saying small. See me say they even call the girl small. This girl is not a small content creator. As soon as I heard what happened, me, I went to quickly follow her. Started liking all her videos, share everything, share. I'm telling you, she has this girl has 481,000 followers. She should have more, to be honest. She should have more. She makes meals from scratch. She's been doing it. And a lot of people make food on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people bake, make food. It's not a new thing, but it's the way she does hers. She shows you where she goes to the farm, harvests it, gets it clean, from the process, from the garden to the pot, and with her soft voice over. Anyway, Sha, and all I have to say is that the thing vexed me well. I take side with Onezwa. I really now her side I beg. Now her side I don't wear my khaki they wait. Wetin be that? All this color. I don't understand though. We get problem for Africa. Oh. We never solve our problem finish, and these people no even want we solve the problem finish. Una go dey follow them, they drag una own down. See wetin una president dey do. Yes sir man, you go na him dey carry himself in Olodos sef go dey meet dem dey beg for investment. Not upon all nobody dey gree come invest. Dem don kidnap LG CEO now. We no know wetin don become of that one. Anyway, my people, na here I go talk am reach. I don try abeg. We go aluta continua. we move forward. You understand? But my people, I beg, add your voice, do what you can in your own little way for Nigeria. We cannot leave it and fold our hands like this. We all have a role to play. We must do something. We cannot allow our ancestral home just go like that. I beg. All right, guys, I'll see you on my next one. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you. Natu, I know you're sleeping, but thank you so much. Kene, highly favored, Mrs. Omorege, everyone that was able to join. Victory, thank you so much, guys. Dr. Chike, I appreciate you all. I go see you on my next. And Michael, only say hi and you run. Michael, greetings to you. All right, guys, I'll see you on my next one. Bye.